mission is to provide respite, resources, and support to parents who have children with special needs. And I think any of us can acknowledge that when you serve mom and dad and you make sure mom and dad are healthy and strong, that obviously the children are going to benefit from that too. So in many ways we're serving the entire family, but our work is really done through empowering mom and dad to make sure they're feeling like they can keep going, because parents with special needs children very often do not care for themselves. They do not take a moment to breathe life into themselves ever. And much less do they take time to turn and look at their spouse, because there's just not enough time in the day.
Is my little family right here.
Oh,
That's from a few years ago. Trying to be a recent one. I definitely do. So I started out as a guest of David's Refuge. And my twins are 7 now.
Wow.
And our son Hugo, they were born 3 months early, and our son Hugo has cerebral palsy. And so I always get to talk about, but we started out as guests about 6 years ago. And it was so amazing. It totally changed our life. We just were in a place where we felt really alone and scared. And so we stayed when it was first started, and then about a year and a half later, they were looking to bring someone on part-time. And so I'm lucky enough that I was the first person that actually ever worked for David's Refuge other than the founders. And it's just been, for my husband and I, it's, in the beginning, it was just someone to talk to. We felt, you just don't know, it's this new world, and our son and daughter are just our life, and we feel so lucky to have the life that we have with him, just because, so he's nonverbal, he's in a wheelchair, and it changes your perspective on everything. I think we just really, truly appreciate the small moments in our life. But what David's Refuge has really given to us is this community. So it's just this community of people that get it. It's people that, you can call, like our son has had surgeries, and we've called people at midnight to pray for him and do things like that. And so,
that's great.
It's amazing. And so I think you hear all different stories like this from so many of our parents that they just, they feel isolated, and especially a lot of our families that have kids, with behavior needs, where they can't go to the store, they can't go anywhere, but they can go on these weekends, or they can talk to parents, or they can connect with them in certain ways. And so we always say that David's Refuge is kind of coming this beyond the weekend. It starts on the weekend, and you sort of dip your toe in, and then you just get welcomed into this just beautiful community, and we just love it, and we love talking about it.
We have volunteers who come to our office. So right now we are in need for people who might be able to come out to our office once or twice a month. And I think the biggest thing for us right now is consistency. So someone that could say, I have the capacity in my life to volunteer every third Wednesday of the month for 2 hours. And we know you're coming, and we can plan, and we can have administrative work set aside. Our administrative assistant, Nancy, she's got a lot on her plate. And so she's working in 2019 to develop a few more key volunteers that she can trust. The other side is we have boots on the ground that actually on a Friday come to our office, pick up the gift baskets, because every couple gets a gift basket on their weekend, and they actually drive them to the locations. So they pick them up here, and they drive the baskets out and they set up the rooms for the guests. So volunteers who might have it in their time to have Friday availabilities and be able to drive. A lot of our volunteers that do this position love to drive. They say, I love driving, I love being in my car, I don't mind it. And then the other side is you get to see the inside of these beautiful bed and breakfasts. And you're the person who's making the room ready. And so when the couple walks in, the lights are on, the flowers are in there, the wine, the gift basket, it's all ready for them. We also have volunteers who are what we call our host couples. These are very special volunteers who are actually interviewed by David's Refuge. They go on the weekends with our guests. So no matter where you are being served, you could go to Geneva on the Lake or the Sherwood Inn or the Brewster Inn in Cazenovia. You are walking into a David's Refuge experience that has a common ground, and that's our host couple. So the hosts are the people who actually have been through it, but they also understand that life is beautiful, and they're going to be there to empower the guests and make sure that the breakfast runs smoothly, make sure that the guests are feeling comfortable. Maybe there's a mom and dad who are in a really bad spot. The host couple is there to have extra time with them. They've been known to go to dinner with the couples. Maybe there's couples that haven't talked to each other in 12 years, and they don't know how to have a respite weekend. The host couple is there to guide and be unobtrusively available.
And we have chosen as St. Mary Ann's to be a part of this. We have asked some people to write nice letters and notes to the families, encouraging them and congratulating them for all the hard work that they do with their families and these children. And so we feel as though it's a give and take. So we are practicing a little bit of working with nonprofit agencies as Mother Mary Ann would do. Mother Mary Ann, as you know, worked with the people that had leprosy for 30 years. So she was always into doing things for others. I'm sure there's many times it's a real hardship
Oh yeah.
to stick with it, and the love really counts.
It does. It
So
does.
that's a whole-
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and so many of our families too. It's really interesting. We talk a lot about how when we talk about our kids out in public, a lot of times people's instant reaction is like, "Oh my gosh!" But if you talk to any of our parents, they will tell you that their child is a gift, and they truly believe it.
Right.
Like that's not just.
Right.
And so that's a piece that we love about David's Refuge too, is kind of like giving the community as a whole this like, new picture of what, like, yeah, there are hard days and crazy days, but all of our families love the journey that they're
And
on.
keeping the family together.
Yes.
So, we do this in honor of Mary Ann because we feel as though we want to keep her legacy alive. And by doing this, we are meeting a lot of very, very beautiful people. We keep looking at all the people in the world that are doing so many horrible things, but we also have to know there is a balance. There are many, many people balancing with good things that they do. Volunteering services to the homeless, soup kitchens, there's a variety of things. And we will be explaining these as we make our way around central New York. David's Refuge was started by a minister and his wife, and it has carried on for the past 7 years. They get donations, people volunteer, and as I said, when God has a plan in mind, He makes it possible for people to come to the rescue to help. So we were very impressed with going there to the office and having an interview with the director, and actually we spoke to one woman who has a handicapped child, and she's so privileged to work there and help others. You could just take a look at her face and see what a beautiful woman she was. So I leave you with that idea that if you're interested in volunteering, David's Refuge in Manlius would be an honorable place to give some of your service and time. Talk to you again. Bye.